Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an enjoyable week so far. Today we're going to be delivering our daily Cardano update video, and we are going to try and keep this one short and sweet. I know I say that on every single video, and usually we tend to ramble on a bit, just due to the fact that we've got so much to talk about in regards to this subject. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly through the charts. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, of course, as it is really the driver of value in the space. We're going to jump into Cardano. Everything still looks fine, ladies and gentlemen. The market is a little bit lackluster. It's not really doing a lot. This is quite typical of what you will find when you're recovering. You'll kind of slowly uptrend before you start to see those real volatile moves. But a big move is coming, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about our kind of macro Elliott wave theory that we do indeed have in play for Cardano, how we're still following it. We will pull up an Elliott wave theory schematic just to show you again that it is so present, and we are expecting this to play out to the fullest. We're yet to invalidate it. We're also going to talk about Ethereum, which ties in very nicely with a lot of the articles floating around. This is an article, and I'm going to show you a couple of them, and we're also going to get into the report from Grayscale, talking about the fact that they believe Cardano is undervalued. Cardano undervalued relative to Ethereum. I will be bringing up some of the main takeaways from this report, as it is very interesting and I happen to agree with a lot of what they are saying. So let's start with Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially, it is still following the roadmap that we set out for it. We said there is very much a kindredship between this recovery, what you're doing today. Can you see this? Setting up structure, and ultimately we believe you are embarking on a new uptrending market. We think this was just a pullback in much the same way that this was, and we're yet to see more continuation and go on to make those new all-time highs. We've shown you a number of macro patterns at play, like our reverse head and shoulders, cup and handle structures. We've shown you indicators that are all exceptionally bullish, and we are still absolutely expecting the next 3 months to be a pretty spectacular time for us involved in the crypto space. Cardano is doing very much a similar thing. You guys know that we believe you are on a uptrend, but it's very much hostage to the market and the market conditions. You know, if the market goes down, Cardano will inevitably go down with it. And what I really want to talk to you about is many people are asking, and we spoke to you about potentially why Cardano wasn't seeing the kind of value appreciation in this recovery that other coins were. A very common trait of a recovery from a pullback is that Bitcoin tends to lead the charge. Bitcoin essentially went on to invalidate this downtrend, put in this high here a lot sooner than a coin like Cardano. Ethereum follows it a little bit more closely and put in a new kind of high in the trend, reversing the trend after this kind of falling wedge structure that we had for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we also had it for Cardano. You can see here that Cardano really didn't go to make a new all-time high till the 12th of August. By this time, Bitcoin had already put in a new high from the downtrend. It put in a higher high around about the 30th of July, and of course Ethereum around about the 31st of July, 1st of August. So this is a very common trait. Things tend to repeat. Markets have characteristics, certainly the crypto market, and coins move at different times, and this isn't something to worry about. We spoke to you guys yesterday about a lot of the FUD surrounding Cardano, how it was unwarranted, how it had a lot to do with people potentially missing the boat on Cardano, and how there were a lot of ETH maxis, a lot of Bitcoin maxis, a lot of other coin maxis that really throw a lot of shade on Cardano. And the fact that it was a number 3 cryptocurrency, and I believe that is its rightful place today. Of course, we've got Binance Coin that has overtaken it, but marginally, is a real testimony to just the amount of strength that Cardano is showing and the amount of strength that it has. It is a very, very promising investment and cryptocurrency. Now, this Grayscale article is very, very interesting. We are going to dive into the report and give you some of the main takeaways. Essentially, Grayscale are saying a new Grayscale research report argues that Cardano may be undervalued relative to Ethereum. The report points out that Cardano's on-chain metrics have grown in strength over the last 12 months. The third largest cryptocurrency on the market has seen significant uptick in both usage and user adoption. This is a trend that I believe we are going to see continue. We are yet to see many smart contracts out there go live, and sort of we're yet to see the real DeFi boom take place for Cardano. This is coming, and this is going to have, in my opinion, a very positive effect on the price. We've shown you what happened with Ethereum with the kind of DeFi summer and how the Ethereum price went up. We're expecting a similar thing for Cardano. So everything is looking healthy. The markets are just a little bit lackluster. You are right now seem to be holding this sort of support line. We'll get a little bit more retail on the chart, show you this a little bit more close up. Can you see this? And really you're forming a little bit of a symmetrical triangle, and this is really, you know, you're coming towards this apex, you're holding this, and we are expecting a break up from this. So that's what we're expecting. The charts look fine to me, guys. There's nothing really out of the ordinary taking place. Everything looks healthy. We are still expecting the big move that we've anticipated. We've shown you on a number of occasions, and I'll do it very quickly for anybody new watching the channel, that you've really just rinsed and repeated the kind of March sell-off over here. I'll quickly overlay these, and then we're going to jump into the Grayscale article. Like I say, I'm going to try and keep this one short and sweet, guys. I know I tend to ramble on a bit. I hope you guys don't mind too much. Can you see this? This is really what you're doing. You're just doing it on a smaller scale, ladies and gents. Market structure tends to repeat, and this is exactly what you've got taking place today. Now, in regards to the Grayscale article, this was a very, very interesting, or in regards to the Grayscale report, this was a very, very interesting report. They touch on a number of things. According to the report, Cardano's current settlement, Cardano currently settles more payment value per unit of market capitalization than its direct competitors, suggesting the asset may be undervalued. Cardano has settled over $1.6 trillion in total on-chain transaction value over the last 12 months, which is around 40% less than Ethereum and 50% less than Bitcoin. Its market capitalization, meanwhile, is roughly 80 and 90% lower than Ethereum and Bitcoin, respectively. Furthermore, Grayscale note that Cardano may also be undervalued relative to Ethereum on a market per active monthly user basis. Cardano currently has roughly 2.8 million active monthly users, while Ethereum has closer to 7. Cardano also has a lower market cap value per user, the report notes. And considering Cardano's market cap, considering that it really came after Ethereum, we know that Charles obviously worked on Ethereum with people like Gavin Wood and obviously Vitalik Buterin, then went on to found Cardano. So one reason that Ethereum is where it is today is just simply because it was the first of its kind. Ethereum came about because they looked at Bitcoin and said, look, let's add an extra layer of capability to Bitcoin. Let's make Bitcoin more usable, more useful. And that's how Ethereum essentially came about. Gavin, the creator of POLKADOT, and obviously Charles Hoskinson, the creator of Cardano, went on to do their own things, essentially trying to fulfill the promises that Ethereum failed to make, trying to make a blockchain that's more scalable, more usable, more kind of interactive, etc., etc. And that's what you're seeing, and Cardano has done exceptionally well. This is the report here that I will leave a link to in the description. It's a very, very short and sweet report. I found it exceptionally useful. We'll quickly go over some of the main takeaways. They've got things like token distribution. It is a very decentralized project, Cardano. I heard I don't want to keep bringing up the Bankless podcast, but they spoke about the fact that Ethereum is the most decentralized. I happen to disagree with that. I think Cardano is exceptionally decentralized. We are going to do more of an in-depth analysis in regards to the smart contract protocols that we have available. I want to cover a lot more topics with you guys. I know we make Cardano videos every day just because it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite cryptocurrency, just due to what they're doing. I love the ethics. I love everything about the project. I think it's an exceptionally impressive cryptocurrency, and I think in regards to where it is now and where it's going, there is a lot of growth still to come. The cryptocurrency space as a whole has a lot of growing to do. We have a failing currency legacy financial system, and I think a lot of that is going to move over to crypto, and I think the individual cryptos are going to benefit massively as a result of it. We're already starting to see real world use case and adoption take place. This is going to get amplified, and we're going to see a significant boom for cryptocurrency as a whole, and the individual cryptos within that have real underlying fundamentals and practicality are going to do exceptionally well, and Cardano fits and ticks all those boxes. This is the report. This is a nice graph, ADA cryptocurrency. The Cardano network has successfully settled over $1.6 trillion in total on-chain transactional value over the last 12 months. This payment value occurred after the mainnet version of Ouroboros went live with the Shelly upgrade in July 2020, which some may view as an important indicator of the network's security. This is a nice little graph here. We're obviously the bottom line, but you can see how we're catching up with Ethereum and Bitcoin. And like I say, Ethereum and Bitcoin really have that lead in terms of market share, market caps, just due to the fact that they were the first. Bitcoin is old technology. That's a fact. It can settle 8 transactions per second. I love Bitcoin. I think it is a far superior store of value to something like a fiat currency, perhaps even something like gold, silver, your precious metals. It's really where it is today because it was the first. If Cardano was the first, if Solana was the first, not just Cardano, if one of these currencies that we have popping up today had been in first place and been the first recognized cryptocurrency, there is the argument that we had cryptos beforehand, but the first kind of recognized cryptocurrency, perhaps they would be where Bitcoin is today. And Ethereum obviously has benefited. It's had a huge first mover advantage. We are seeing it lose market share, although people like Raoul Pal and Bankless and all these big kind of media figures all seem to kind of go out of their way to not mention Cardano. I think that's very unfair. I think it is an extreme competitor. And I want to just make a quick little side note. I don't tell you guys anything that I don't tell my family and friends. There's no BS on this channel. I honestly believe in Cardano. I believe in what they're trying to achieve, and I believe in the goals and the visions of some of the projects that are going to come out of Cardano. And what the Cardano summit, even though there was quite a bit of disappointment surrounding it, I think I've done a lot of rewatching of some of the speeches, some of the events within the Cardano summit, and it's really sinking in. You know, there's something huge at hand here, and when you compound the fact that the current legacy system that we have is failing in a multitude of ways, it's corrupt, it's the very tool that's used to enslave many of us. How many of you guys out there could quit your job tomorrow freely? And can you really be truly financially free? Can you really be free if you're not financially free and you constantly have that kind of ball and chain attached to you? There's a lot going on behind the scenes. I don't really want to ramble on too much, and it's showing you that obviously we are catching up. Ethereum's caught up significantly to Bitcoin. These projects that are coming out now, such as Cardano, these kind of generation 3 blockchains, are going to catch up significantly and start to really take a lot of the market share away from things like Ethereum, things like Bitcoin. Meanwhile, the market as a whole is going to grow. So we're in for a good 3 months, ladies and gentlemen. That's the main takeaway. Although the LTM payment value of Cardano is 1.6 trillion, is 40% lower than Ethereum 2.8 and 50% lower than Bitcoin 3.1. Cardano also has a much lower market cap. The market cap of Cardano is 75 billion, which is 80% lower than Ethereum 400 billion, and 90% lower than Bitcoin, which is 880 billion. This was obviously at the time of the article being wrote, which I think came out a few days ago. Or a couple of days ago. I know many of the articles surfacing. The report, I think, came out a couple of days ago. I think the articles have really just caught up. They're very new, fresh. Some of them came out today. This means Cardano is settling more LTM payments per unit of market cap, or its market cap is the cheapest relative to the LTM payments value. And this is what you're seeing. And I think this is a trend you're going to see continue. You're going to see a real catch-up take place. The fact that Grayscale have gone and chosen Cardano as their third largest holding is a real vote of confidence. And Grayscale is a vehicle. We see JP Morgan. We see a number of other big institutions, such as ARK Invest, that own Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They own the fund. It's a way for institutions to take a little bit of risk off their shoulders. This is a trend we're going to see continue. We're going to see them get into Ethereum more heavily. We're going to see them get into altcoins more heavily. We know that we are set to have a Bitcoin ETF approved. When that will be is really anybody's guess. The SEC are really dragging their feet with it. But once we have the Bitcoin ETF, in Canada, we've already seen a Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF be approved. We're soon going to see a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano ETF. In much the same way that Grayscale started off with Bitcoin, the ETFs are going to move in the same way. And this is really going to allow institutions to get on board with the cryptocurrency revolution that we have at hand. So things are looking exceptionally good. It goes into some of the staking, goes into some of the block rewards. this is the kind of growth of Cardano. We can see this month we've seen the growth absolutely soar. When you have smart contracts, we already have smart contracts, but when you have DeFi, when you have a DeFi space take place, you're going to see this go up more significantly, drastically more significantly, in the same way that Ethereum really benefited from DeFi summer. And with DeFi, somebody who uses DeFi on Ethereum, I've used it on Binance Smart Chain and a number of other chains out there, you lock up the underlying asset. So for Ethereum, for example, with using DeFi, a lot of Ethereum gets locked up in Compound, gets locked up in MakerDAO. The same thing is going to essentially take place with Cardano, and this is what I'm exceptionally excited about. The future is a bright one, ladies and gentlemen. I know the markets are a little bit lackluster, but ultimately, guys, you've just got to hang in there. This is very, very common trade. I mean, this is really what we've got set up for Bitcoin. It's recovering in the exact same way, ladies and gents. I'll show you this very quickly, and then we will wrap the video up. I did promise to make this a short and sweet one. We are trying. We've just got so much to talk about in regards to the cryptocurrency realm. And like I say, I would like to start making videos on a lot more projects. The problem that I've got is I run a business. I also obviously manage my own cryptocurrency portfolio. I have a fund. And I've got a lot going on, so it's kind of hard to. YouTube isn't my job, it's a hobby of mine. Cryptocurrencies are an absolute passion of mine and something that I see myself continuing to stay in. So it's really trying to find the time, but we are going to make time. We are going to start covering a variety of other projects. You guys know that I don't just hold Cardano, I hold a basket of cryptos, around about 40 plus cryptocurrencies, and I would like to start sharing some more content about those. So this is really what we've got set up. We're following this recovery in the exact same manner, and in respect to Bitcoin leading the charge, coins like Ethereum following more closely, which we're seeing here, and then coins like Cardano kind of dragging behind, but then playing a kind of catch-up game. So things look good, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to leave a link to the report. It's exceptionally interesting. You can see that everything's really spiked up over the past couple of months. The report also does mention the Cardano application ecosystem, although this is a kind of smaller version of it. Things look fantastic, ladies and gents. And this is a Cardano and Ethereum monthly active users. The amount of users on Cardano is going up in comparison with Ethereum. So it's gaining faster adoption. One issue that you have a number of issues with being a first mover. As well as it's an advantage, it can be as well as it's a blessing, it can be a curse in many respects. One, competitors get to look at what you've done and what you've done wrong and improve on that. They have you as a kind of test dummy. And two, your adoption comes sooner, but what you'll tend to find is it will kind of drop off, and then some of the newer coins will gain a faster adoption curve. And this is what you're seeing with Cardano. This report was brilliant. This is something that Cardano and Ethereum market cap to monthly addresses. You can see that Cardano is doing exceptionally well. You have had a bit of a slam down here. Things are looking good. I will leave a link to this, of course, in the description. But that's really all I have for you guys. We didn't really want to go too much into the charting. We've done a lot of charting over the past days, past weeks, where we've really kind of focused in and drilled in on what we think's to come. You're still in this kind of Elliott wave theory that you have set out for Cardano. Within that, you're in your fifth wave and you're in your third wave. I believe you're embarking on your third wave within that fifth wave, and your third wave is typically your biggest. This is how we get to sort of that $5 to $6 Cardano price. I think you're going to definitely get that within the end of the year. And in actual fact, we've still got a $7.50 to $10 price prediction. You could potentially see that, but there's a lot that needs to kind of happen with the overall market condition. It's all largely permissioned by Bitcoin, but things to me are looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there, it's coming. That is really the bulk of what I have for you in this vid. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, like us is appreciated. So is a comment. Hang in there, guys. It's coming. I know what it's like to hold crypto. I'm right there with you. When the markets are like this, it's boring. People lose interest. As an investor, you're not going to do very well if you're not willing to hold. You can't just, you're not a trader. You're not waiting. You're not sort of time sensitive. Investors make money in holding their investment. That's a fact. And if you are getting annoyed, getting shaken out due to the markets being a little bit stagnant, you're not going to do very well as an investor. And that's a harsh truth that I think many people really need to realize. It's coming. These things take time. we are still on track for everything that we've said and expecting big things to come in the next 3 months. That's really all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. See you in the next one.